Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out an expandable travel backpack from a new company called the Almond Oak. And the backstory of this bag really caught my attention as the founder of the company was taking some trips around the world using just one bag. The bag that he chose to use was the Osprey Daylight 26+6 expandable backpack. I talk about that one a lot on the channel as it's just a really versatile, popular bag. And this bag is inspired by the experience of using that bag on the road and identifying some areas that could potentially be improved. So, really excited to kind of hear that that's where the idea for this bag came from. And I was quite curious to kind of dive in and test it. I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to test it. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, the bag has a pretty minimal appearance, which I really like. It reminds me of bags from companies like Bellroy and Evergood, so it's very subdued, clean. This feels like it's going to blend in well into a lot of different environments, which is particularly helpful for travel as it doesn't feel like it's going to call a ton of attention to itself, and it's still going to work great for exploring a city or even taking it into the office. As far as the materials, the bag feels pretty solidly built. This exterior fabric is a 280D nylon. One of the main focus areas of this bag is the weight and making sure that it's light enough to work well on some of these stricter international airlines. And with that, there's always some trade-offs. So although this fabric does feel durable, it feels a little thinner and less rigid than some of the more common fabrics that you'll find on premium travel backpacks, but you do get a bag that comes in at under 2 pounds, which is really impressive considering the features that it has to offer, and it still feels like a nice fabric. It's got kind of a ripstop texture. It also feels like it's gonna offer a decent amount of weather resistance, and beyond that, the rest of the bag is using some really nice hardware. You have Hypalon zipper pulls, pretty nice straps, and then some smooth working YKK zippers all throughout. Continuing along the outside of the bag, I was happy to see that you do have one external water bottle pocket. This offers a decent amount of space and elasticity. I was able to fit my 20-ounce water bottle in here pretty comfortably, so other similarly sized bottles should fit well. This could also hold something like an umbrella, and then because of that elastic material, just kind of stays close to the bag when it's not in use. And you also have a couple of handles. You have one at the top and then one on the side. And the one on the top has something resembling some of the seatbelt-like kind of materials that we've seen on other bags. It's not quite as padded, but it still feels nice, reinforced. And then the one on the side is a little thinner, a simpler handle here, so it'll get the job done for just kind of picking the bag up. It is reinforced, but I do wish that there had been maybe just a little bit more padding, something similar to what was on the top, to give you that extra bit of comfort when you're picking the bag up by this handle. Regardless, it does feel like they will be helpful as far as getting these, into an overhead storage compartment or, maneuvering the bag. You do have handles on each side. Sorry, I forgot to call that out, not just on one of them. So that's great to see. And then the one at the top. And beyond that, as far as the exterior, very minimal on the branding front, no large logos or anything like that, which is really nice to see. And then one last thing to call out while we're talking about the exterior is whether the bag can stand up well on its own. Right now I have it expanded out, so it's a little bit wider, it's more full, so it is able to stand up. I have found that this can be a little bit inconsistent just given the less rigid fabric and structure of the bag, so the weight can kind of shift around, particularly if it's a little bit emptier. So, that's something that you'll have to keep an eye on depending on how it's packed out, if you might want to lean it against something. Moving into the capacity, this is an expandable bag, so when it's compressed down, it comes in at about 25 liters and it has the ability to expand out to 30 liters. So really versatile sizes. The 25 liter capacity is kind of my go-to as far as an all-purpose bag that I feel comfortable using for my everyday, for holding all the things that I typically have with me without feeling overwhelmingly bulky, but still giving me a little bit of extra capacity. And then when you expand it out to 30 liters, it's great to have that additional capacity for traveling or for longer days. And at the 25 liter size, it feels like something that's gonna work very well as a personal item on a variety of domestic and international airlines and be able to slide under the seat on a flight. Expanding it out to 30 liters, I feel like it could still potentially work well, on some of the more lenient airlines as a personal item, if not definitely as a carry-on item that you can place into an overhead storage compartment, as you know, it can get a little bit bulkier when you expand it out and you really pack it out. But in general, this feels like a very kind of carry-on friendly size, and also something that's just going to be great for a range of activities once you arrive at your destination. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bag has been pretty comfortable to wear. The straps have an EVA foam padding that feels pretty nice, soft. On the inside you have this meshy material to help with breathability, and then the straps also have a pretty good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. I will say that these feel a little thinner and less rigid than the straps that I typically like to use on many of my travel packs. But you know, that's one of the trade-offs that comes with trying to keep the bag so lightweight. So I do think that a good balance was struck here, but something to keep in mind. And then on the straps, you have an adjustable sternum strap that has this really cool magnetic buckle. So you can, you know, snap it on very quickly, slide it off. So I really like this system here. And then the back panel has also felt pretty comfortable. You have a pretty rigid padding here that's well distributed all throughout. It does feel like it's gonna offer support. You also have this air channel here to give you a little bit of airflow. I do wish that there was a little bit more breathability as far as the material, but you know, I know a lot of travel bags have this type of backing, so that's more preference based. And then I like that you have a luggage pass-through that has a vertical orientation so that you can rest this on a suitcase while traveling and save some weight on your back, and also access the laptop compartment pretty comfortably. Jumping into the organizational options, you have a zippered quick access pocket on the front with a tall, vertically oriented zipper. This is going to be helpful for swinging the bag around and grabbing something a little bit more easily without taking it all the way off. And you have a pretty good amount of volume here. So this might be a place where you can put some pouches, a tablet, as it is a little bit taller. And then you also have some internal organization. So the layout here reminds me a little bit of the CPL 24. So you have, you know, a zippered pocket at the bottom that be great for smaller items that you don't want getting lost. You have kind of a nice meshy, stretchy material here. And then you have a pretty large slip pocket here that can accommodate some bulkier items like a pair of sunglasses, which is what I have there. I also have the Tom Bin Ghost Whale pouch. But you know, this is sized for maybe even something like a notebook, or you know, some gloves, other cables, and then you also have some smaller slots at the top that'll be good for something like a pen or a stylus. On the side of the bag that doesn't have the water bottle pocket, you have an additional almost hidden zipper compartment here that, you know, is gonna offer a good amount of capacity for something like a portable battery. You can maybe store your phone in there. At the moment, I have a little notebook here, but this could also be a good spot to maybe just put anything else that you're wanting to grab a little bit more quickly while you're on the go. And then you have a dedicated laptop compartment, which I was very happy to see. This is one of the areas where I think this is an improvement over the Osprey Daylight series. That one has the laptop sleeve in the main area, so great to see that you have a dedicated tablet and laptop sleeve. And I really like the implementation here. Both sleeves offer a good amount of padding. They're suspended off the bottom of the ground. You also have a soft lining on the back, on the front, and so really great to see the amount of padding and protection that's provided, even though the bag is still meant to be lighter weight. So this is able to hold a 15 or 16 inch laptop. Currently I have a 14 inch MacBook Pro. You can see there's some leftover space here at the top. And so I'll go ahead and pull my device out. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside, at that tablet sleeve on the bottom, and then the laptop sleeve itself comes up a decent amount. And you know, with the amount of padding, the lining, and then the fact that this is suspended, it really does feel like my device is going to be well protected while I'm on the go. And on the other side, you have an additional zippered pocket that has elastic, kind of stretchy mesh here that's going to be great for some tech accessories. At the moment, I have my USB-C hub and the cables that go with it. Those fit in there nicely, but you have a soft lining here as well, so this could be a good area for a mouse or any other sensitive tech items that you want to be carrying. Moving into the main compartment, this does have a suitcase style opening. The zippers here don't lock in the traditional sense, which I thought was interesting just given the travel focused nature of the bag. You do still have loops that are big enough that you could still, probably pair this with a couple of different style locks and, give yourself a little bit of theft deterrence. So still think that that's fine. And then again, smooth working zipper here to open it all the way up. Now this is currently expanded to the 30-liter capacity. So you can see here how much it expands out, which is really nice. And go ahead and open this up. You have kind of the main storage area. It's a large bucket of space. And then you have the other section, which has this elastic divider here. One thing that's interesting is that the expansion is provided on the main area versus the lid, which might have been nice to give that extra space here to just give additional volume and have kind of two sort of packing areas with a little bit more space. But because of the elastic material here, I still think that it works well. And so at the moment, I have this packed out for minimal travel with my typical setup. So in this main area, I have an extra pair of shoes in a packing cube. I have the Peak Design smaller packing cube, and then I also have the medium compressible packing cube from Peak Design. So all of that fits in there very comfortably. And in this main area, now that it's a little emptier, you can see no compression straps on the inside, very simple, which I'm a big fan of, as that just removes complications, saves on weight, and really gives me the flexibility to pack how I want. And you can see here, because the structure of the bag isn't as rigid, I always feel like that helps you hold a little bit more. And so, really like the simplicity there. And moving on to the other side, you again have the zippered elastic divider, which still gives you some flexibility to store things that are even a little bit bulkier. There is some dimension to this compartment. Even though it doesn't expand, you can see that it's able to hold something like my Air Dot kit. I have packable rain jacket here, and then an additional Peak Design cube. And all those items have a decent amount of volume, so I was happy to see that they were able to fit in here, that you could use this to store other clothing items, jackets, shirts. And if you don't want to use it, you can just zip it away, which is what I tend to do, particularly once I compress the bag down. You can actually zip it. It has the compression zipper that goes all the way around, which is a system that always works well. And then you have the ability to kind of close this up, and now it is an excellent day bag that you can still walk around with once you arrive. You can take your packing cubes out, compress it, and then this is a type of thing where I can easily toss in, my over-ear headphones, a tech pouch, a drone, any of the things that I want to have with me while I'm exploring. It still works very well with this layout. And zip it up. And yeah, really like the flexibility of the layout, the ability to expand it, to compress it, and just the overall form factor. This is the type of bag that I've started to really enjoy traveling with more and more in recent years, as it's something that can work well as a personal item. It can give me some extra flexibility, and it's great to see a newer company coming out, improving on a design that they liked, and really prioritizing something like the weight, which continues to be a bigger concern as airlines are getting stricter. So I think that it struck a good balance. And if you're looking for a really solid minimal travel bag that's going to give you a lot of interesting functionality, then I think this is going to be a great option to consider. And so to wrap up, it's been a pretty great experience testing out the Expandable Travel Backpack from Almond Oak. This is going to be launching on Kickstarter, and I'll make sure to include a link in the description below to the Kickstarter page if you want to learn more about the bag or pick one of these up. I believe that the regular pricing for the bag is going to come in at around $165, so definitely an investment, but it does feel like a pretty good price considering the features and the build quality that it has to offer, the fact that this is a newer, small company, and it feels like it's going to compare well against some of the other similar bags in this price range. And if you back the Kickstarter a little bit earlier, I believe there's going to be some good deals on the pricing. I think I saw it going as low as $100, so at that price point, really good value, and I definitely recommend you just take a look at all the options that are available on the Kickstarter page. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of is of course the Osprey Daylight 26+6 Expandable Backpack. That was the inspiration for this bag, and continues to be one of the most interesting bags that I've tested out over the past year. It comes in at 26 liters when it's compressed down, so really great daily carry size. It also works well as a personal item, but then it can expand out to about 32 liters. It has the suitcase style opening so you can organize everything. That one doesn't have the dedicated laptop compartment like this one here. It's got a padded sleeve that's integrated into the main area. The quick access pocket is also a little different. It's vertically oriented, so it's just a different layout. You do have the dual external water bottle pockets. I really like the handles on that one as well. And the straps also feel just a little bit more padded. So, definitely some things to consider. It's still gonna be a great option. It also comes in at around $100, so a really great price point if you're looking for something kind of like this and you're a little bit more budget conscious. Another bag this made me think of is the Tortuga Expandable Backpack, which has Tortuga's typical very comfortable harness system and solid build quality. It's got a pretty simple but very useful layout, some quick access pockets, laptop compartment that's well padded, suspended. Then it has a suitcase style opening, kind of like this one. It has the ability to expand. That one just feels a little bit larger and heavier, so it's gonna give you some extra space. When it's compressed down, it comes in at about 27 liters, but it's a pretty spacious 27 liters. And then when you expand it out, it's just like a really great one bag travel size that'll fit wonderfully into an overhead storage compartment. Again, the harness systems, Tortugas are best in class as far as the comfort. You can wear that all day. It's gonna feel great. It also includes a waist belt that you can add or remove if you want a little bit more support. And so if you're looking for something that is a little heavier, but that's gonna offer materials that feel a little bit more rugged and that just also has excellent comfort, then that's gonna be one of the best options to take a look at. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the ULA Dragonfly. I used the 30 liter when I tested it on the channel and I was super impressed. I can see why that bag is so popular in the minimal travel community, particularly for its lighter weight. It's great in that aspect. It's also really compact, 30 liters. The main compartment is about 24 liters, but it can hold a lot. Very simple layout, pretty comfortable harness system. It's got a laptop compartment, dual external water bottle pockets. That one has a little bit more of an outdoorsy technical vibe. It's got the bungee cord on the exterior. I used the ultra fabric version of that, so it felt very rugged, weather resistant. So excellent bag all around. It is in a little bit of a higher price point, but if you're looking for something that's ultra light and very useful for lightweight minimal travel, and that's gonna be one of the best options to take a look at. With that being said, the Almond Oak Expandable Travel Backpack holds up pretty well against all those options. It is an impressive first offering from a new company. You can tell a lot of thought went into this. I'm excited to try it out more on a couple of upcoming trips, and I think that it's a worthy successor to something like the Osprey Daylight 26+6. So if you're interested in checking something new out that prioritizes being lightweight and giving you a lot of flexibility, then that's gonna be a really interesting option to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Almond Oak Expandable Travel Backpack and how it compares to some of the other popular minimal travel bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.